This is my PechaKucha presentation. I'm going to go over the 4 technology modules I worked on throughout the semester. I started with the HTML project, then worked in Photoshop, moved to the video editing, and lastly worked with the flipped classroom videos. In each module, I use new programs and gain new skills which can help me to become a better designer. In order to start this project, I needed to learn more about what HTML is and how it is used when designing a website. With the resources given to us, I used the Code Academy program. I ended up watching many hours of video to learn the basics of web design. The videos that Code Academy provided were easy to follow, and I felt I had a good understanding as I started to code my own web page. To write the code, I used a program called Brackets. It is user-friendly and gave hints when they were needed. It was my first time ever coding a website, so I learned as I was going through the process. Once I started, I found out that I had fun changing the colors and seeing how a small symbol could change the whole layout. The website I created was very basic in design, and it ended up being the product of hard work. This was my homepage for my website. I am a track and field coach at my school, and I created my own coach webpage. It includes my history as a runner as well as information on the sport. Looking back, I would change the color theme and try to include more real-life images. Since I wrote the code from scratch, it was challenging to get the right formatting and design. My vision has changed, and I would like it to be more user-friendly and appealing. I want to specifically look at one of the requirements we had to include called the accordion. I was really proud of this addition to my webpage. It took me a long time to write code and to find code that I could use to adapt to fit the needs of my webpage. The colors, once again, are not the best. I would change them to be more readable. I was trying to be creative to have the color of the mouse click match the same color as the title color, but it was not as successful as I had planned. Another requirement we needed was to have some links to outside pages. I created 2 which gave me specific information on 2 areas of track and field. One page is dedicated to sprinting and another for hurdling. Again, looking back, there is much more I would change, including color and layout. I did work hard in trying to get the boxes closer together, but I was happy with having 2 separate boxes with different information. Overall, I was pleased with my end result for the first time creating a website. The first part of the Photoshop module was to use Kandinsky-Bahas ideas. We were asked to design 2 different images with specific guidelines. The first image was designed to have a central eye focus. I tried different patterns and changed the color orientation and ended up with this picture. The darkest colors in the middle bring your eyes to focus on the middle. The second image, we were asked to orient the colors so there is an even border around the rectangle. I chose to have the black, white, and gray colors on top to contrast the primary and secondary colors. I also chose to put the black in the middle since it has the biggest contrast on the colors underneath of it. The last adjustment I made was making the gray and white rectangle smaller, so it created a similar size border as at the top and the bottom. Another part of the Photoshop was to create a website banner. I really enjoyed creating this, and it displays some of who I am. The words and pictures correlate around in a clockwise movement. The apple corresponds with the teacher, the stack of books for students, the Hermes winged foot for coach, and the tablet with a tree of technology for designer. I used the magic wand to remove the white from the images, which really allowed them to stand out. The largest part was creating a collage of 20 to 25 pictures. I love pictures, so choosing was hard for me. Each picture represents part of my journey throughout my undergraduate college experiences to where I am today. Through this project, I learned a lot about the different tools. I used the lasso tool to round out some of the images, and I also used the magic wand tool again. By cutting some of the images, I was able to add in even more. I still have some room to grow with Photoshop since this was my first experience. I became comfortable with using the layers, but I wish I had more time to explore the tools. After viewing some of my classmates' projects, I see the power Photoshop has. I'm happy with how it turned out, but I would like to have no white space and trim some of the photos even more. The third module I chose was to learn how to video edit. The hardest part for me was determining a story I wanted to create. I had no idea where to start. I decided on a news broadcast about how scientists have figured out how to place a hologram of a dinosaur into Central Park for people to view. I wrote out a script and made a bigger font so I was able to read it while filming. One of the requirements was a green screen. I did not have access to professional cameras, so I used the clips that were provided to us. This is the image that gave me the idea for the story. Once I added the background of a park, it looked like a real image of a dinosaur in the park. The clip also provided different angles, so I was able to show the dinosaur walking in the park from different directions. I used Windows Movie Maker to create the video. I also needed to download a video converter program so I could use the videos captured from my iPhone. Between the different scenes, I was able to add transitions. We also downloaded an application which allowed me to add the park background to the dinosaur. My plan was to also add a newscaster background, but the audio would fade out in the end and I could not figure out how to stop this from happening. In the end, my video contained an opening screen, captured video, green screen, pictures, transitions, audio, and credits. I had to cut and trim the green screen video and also added the theme song from Jurassic Park. The video turned out well overall. The storyline is silly, and if the newscaster background could have been added, I would have been very happy with the turnout. My last module was learning how to create flipped video for the classroom. I have been very interested in flipping different units for my curriculum. For this program, I used EDU Creations. It is a basic screencast free program that is easy to work with. It worked well with my iPad. I was able to write better on my iPad using a stylus instead of a mouse. At first, I had to try a test video to see how it worked. I wanted to see how well the microphone picked up the audio. And another concern I had was how the writing was going to show. I do not have the best handwriting, so I wanted to practice before I finalized the video. I was surprised how well the audio transferred. My writing improved through different attempts. As you can see, I had about 5 takes until I was happy with my video. It was hard to edit the videos through EDU Creation, so I had to keep doing retakes until I did not make the mistake. It started to become frustrating, but each time I learned and got better. The topic I chose involved graphing inequality statements and looking at how to use open and closed dots. It was a challenge to get the topic I chose into a 5-minute video. I wanted to add more examples and show all the different types of scenarios. I do not think I will use this video for my class this year, but as a starting point. I would make the video longer and then incorporate this with Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle also has a lot to offer for the flipped classroom. This class has opened my eyes to many different programs and the importance of classroom design. I have challenged myself to think outside the box and try new ways of completing the tasks given to us. From the start of the course, I feel as if I have grown from someone who knew nothing about designing to someone who is promoting it with colleagues. The skills and thought process taught in this class have and will continue to change my career in education.